Hello and welcome all you music lovers. My name is Emily and I like to talk about music, and today I want to talk about Marilyn Manson's new album, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. It is his 13th studio album, released November 22nd, 2024. His last album was We Are Chaos, which was released in 2020. So it's been a good 4 years since we last heard new music from Manson. And it's his first album since the allegations against him dropped in 2021. I'm not going to get into those. There are a lot better people to do that than me. Do your own research on it. That's all I have to say on the matter. But, obviously, I'm a big Manson fan. I've been a Manson fan since I was 15 years old. I'm currently 22. So, it's been very exciting to get new Manson music again and to have him back and listening to it again and all that. And it's bringing up these almost nostalgic like feeling of excitement, but not. And I'm absolutely obsessed with the new album and I really want to talk about it. So I'm going to kind of talk about the songs, kind of my little thoughts on them. There's not a lot to it, but a little bit, you know, what I think they might be about or what they might mean. Given that I've only been out for like a day and I've had a really busy night at work tonight, so I really haven't had a lot of time to look at it, and like analyze it. I still want to talk about it and kind of what my initial thoughts on them are. A part of me almost wants to make a new video for each track, and I might do that later, just to go into more detail on them. I am unsure at the moment, but I will decide later on. So, yeah, I want to talk about, I'm going to structure it this way of talking about the album a little bit, talking about the track list and each song on the track list, and then kind of my final thoughts on the album as a whole, what I kind of rate the album as, and my favorite songs on the album. So, sit back, relax, do whatever it is you like to do when you watch videos like this, and let's talk about Marilyn Manson's new album, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. A topic you might care about, but probably not. Also, before we start, I just want to say, look at my new background. Look at my background. I've worked so hard to get this fucking wall done and decorated, and there's still a lot of white underneath. Or blank space underneath. I need more of these little trading cards here. They are rock cards from the 1990s. I found them at some toy show my brother dragged me to, and I had no use for them other than I'm like, hey, what if I hang them up? So, and if you look here, these are photos of me from concerts. Some of them are of me with people I've met, like musicians from the concerts. I've been very lucky to meet some of them. Some of them are with my concert buddies, and a couple of them are just of me at concerts. So, you know, because I like concerts. But let's get into it now. First and foremost, I want to say this is the most ultimate comeback album I've ever heard. You can say Hollywood, you know, was a really good comeback album. I think this one's better, personally speaking. And I liked Hollywood, don't get me wrong. But I am just obsessed with this album for a lot of reasons. And I think it's, at least now at this point in time, maybe it's just, you know, the new excitement of it. I think it's better, in my opinion. But I think every song is such a hit. I don't think there's any misses on this album. I think he's so open and vulnerable and emotional, and I think this album is just so amazing for a comeback. I think Manson nails it. I think Tyler Bates, who did a lot of the composing for it, nailed it. Gil Sharon does the drums on it, I know, and he fucking nailed it. So there's a lot on this album that I love, and I'm very, very excited about it. So, let's get through, sorry, I'm gonna fall off my piano here. Let's get into the track listing. I am going to be kind of glancing over a little bit, because I do have notes, but I promise I'm still paying attention to you guys. Anyway, there are 9 tracks on this album. Pretty good number. I've kind of found that a good standard is about 10. So, getting more than that always makes me feel good. Getting a little less than that, I understand. Getting right around that, sounds about right to me. So 9 doesn't surprise me, especially if it's a chapter 1. So it's very exciting for me. First one on this album is the aptly named One Assassination Under God. And I really love this song. Okay, I really like this song. It's a great opener. Really got me hooked. Really a perfect choice for an opening song. So basically what I kind of gather from the song, it's basically like him saying, I've let you have your fun at my expense as you've ruined or tried to ruin me and my career and my reputation and my life. But I'm done with sitting back. I'm not a sacrifice. I'm not going to let you do this anymore because these executions like this are bullshit. Again, it's obviously subject to change later on the more I've listened to them, but it's kind of the vibe I get from it. The opening music sounds like the climax of a movie, like a horror movie almost, where the protagonist is going to go face to face with the antagonist and, all that. So I really love that. I think it's a very, very, very excellent way to open an album. And you really hear the Tyler Bates influence there because he does a lot of music scores. I know he just did recently Maxine, which is a great movie. Really highly recommend it if you've seen the other movies in the X trilogy. But this is not the video for that, but yeah. I love how the drums sound during the instrumentals. Sorry, I have a cat here who's trying to go places he's not supposed to. I love how the drums sound during the instrumental parts. I think that it's really hard hitting almost, and it just sounds so amazing with everything else. And I really like that the line "shoot me in the back of the head" works so well with the album as a whole and the release date, which was the anniversary of JFK's assassination, where he was shot. So I think that it fits really well, and I think that's really kind of a neat little thing to put in there. The next song on the list is No Funeral Without Applause. This one I do think I need a little bit more time to look at, but kind of the vibe I get from it is, I'm gonna get through all of this. I know I will, but it's hard to do it when you need something to help you through it. And the way that I view it when he talks about things like the cuts and stuff like that, I know some people, when they're going through extremely bad situations like that, can self-harm. I'm somebody who used to do that, so I understand that. The drugs are another thing that I think they're kind of alluded to. I don't think they really mentioned, but that as well is kind of in there a little bit, but I really like that one. The thing I think I like most about this song, though, is during the part that goes, all that's lost and all that's forgotten, there will be no funeral without applause. The high harmony just sounds so fucking amazing on that part. And I really just am, obsessed with that. Yes, I'm petting you. This is Orpheus. He's a good boy. Anyway, but yeah, I love that part of that song. I think that it just sounds so cool to me. The next one is Not If You Understand. Basically, what I think he's trying to say in this one is, if this is how the world is going to be, where there's no accountability, everybody's just trying to shift blame and make up these random things to shift blame onto people to get this victim mentality, get the victim points. I want to fucking destroy it. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want anything to do with it. I want it to be destroyed. And I really think that's a good message. It's a very hard-hitting song. It's very heavy musically. I think hard, heavy, and it reminds me somewhat of We Know Where You Fucking Live, which is from the Heaven Upside Down album, which was also composed with Tyler Bates. So I was expecting to hear some similarities a little bit, but yeah. And I think that it's really cool to have that similarity, because I think that song's also a little bit like that. But yeah. Next is As Sick as the Secrets Within, which I have a whole video about. So go check that out if you want like my full thoughts on it. But I think that's really more about his addiction issues and getting sober and clean, and how the drugs were a coping mechanism for him. So go check that. Like, yeah. The next one is Sacrilegious, which was also a single, and I also have a video out about, where basically I thought he was kind of alluding to, like, okay, you think I'm fucking evil? Let's get fucking sacrilegious. Let's get evil. Let me show you what you want me to be, almost. You know? So yeah, again, there's a full video about it on my page, so go check that out if you want. You do not have to. The next one is Death Is Not a Costume. Basically, I kind of get the vibe of it saying, this is who I actually am. I am not who you pretend that I am. You know, you pretend I'm a monster, but I'm not. And you are the only one pretending here. It's not me. It's always been you. And I think a little bit of that, they get the vibe of that, it was always you, is when I wish I knew you when you were alive. Kind of alluding to you're fake. You're living fakely, so you're not really living. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. He doesn't know either. But you listened to the whole album with me, haven't you? Yes, you have, my sweet boy. I love the staticky opening sound. It almost reminds me of a mix between We Are Chaos and Tattooed in Reverse. So I really liked that sound. I always like when artists use things like that in their music. Yeah. The next one is Meet Me in Purgatory, which is basically saying, if I'm brought down to nothing, if I am the social pariah, will you still stand with me? Will you still support me? And I think that is not only a message to the people around him, but to his fans. I think the breathy opening of it reminds me of Third Day of a 7-Day Binge from The Pale Emperor. And it doesn't, just reminds me of it. It doesn't sound like it in any way, but it just reminds me of it. I'm not going to do it because it's going to sound weird if I do it, but you know what I'm talking, you'll know what I'm talking about if you look at the song, okay? That's all I have to say on the matter. And then the next one is Raise the Red Flag, which again, I have a whole video about from when that was released. So, you know, but basically it's, alright, I'm ready to fight, let's go. I'm not sitting back and taking it. Vibe to it, in my opinion. And the last one here is Sacrifice of the Mass, where basically it's almost like he's accepting hopelessness and just is ready to, like, leave this planet and this earth and this existence. It's such an emotionally raw song, and it speaks to me in a way of, I've been in the mindset of hopelessness where I felt like there was nothing left to be here for, and you were just ready to go. And I think that's extremely relatable to not only me, but a lot of people who have been in that situation. And him being so vulnerable and open and raw with that song is such a good move. It's such a move, and I love that. I think the music behind it is also just very fitting with the theme of the song. And it's about the song, but unrelated to that part of it, it's the high notes, though. Almost like when he's doing The Beautiful People and you can't see the forest for the trees, and he goes high. I'm not gonna do that, but you know what I'm talking about. It almost reminds me of that a little bit, but in a different way, and I absolutely love the way it sounds. It's really shown me how much he's worked on his vocals. So yeah, that's the track listing. That's kind of my thoughts on each song. Obviously there's a lot more I could talk about with it, but the album as a whole, his vocals are so clear and crisp, and it really sounds like he's been trying and improving himself throughout all of this, which I just think is amazing. Because a lot of people could just lay down and die and not have anything more to do with life and just give up. But he hasn't. He's fought back. He's improved himself. And I love that. Yeah, I think this album's fucking amazing. I rate albums fairly high at times, but I'm definitely giving it like a 9.5 out of 10 here. Because I'm just, not only am I obsessed, I think this album is so amazing. And you know what? I'm very close to giving it a 10 out of 10. Just because I absolutely think this album is everything I wanted it to be and more. He's really outdone himself here. He's taken this bad shit that's happening to him and he's created art from it. And I love that. And my favorite songs, in case you are wondering, are Meet Me in Purgatory, One Assassination Under God, and Sacrifice of the Mass. I can tell you right now, if there's a day when I'm not in a great mental space, Sacrifice of the Mass is going to be on repeat, and I will be crying to it. Yes, I will. But, kisses. Kisses. But, yeah. Those are kind of my thoughts on the album. I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are. Did you like the album? Did you hate the album? Are you disappointed in the album? What are your thoughts on the album? Orpheus is curious too. So, you guys can like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos if you want. I'm not going to hold you to it. You can do whatever you want with your life. I don't care. But, yeah, I'm very much in love with this song. I have plans to make a couple more videos, very shortly. Flocka from Rammstein has dropped a Christmas album that I'm going to talk about. And then I want to talk about something else that's Christmas related. Don't really want to go into it yet. But, yeah. Can you say bye-bye? Say bye-bye?